Alright, this video has been a long time coming. Over the last decade, we've seen some incredible games. I'm talking about those unforgettable titles that left us completely hooked, kept us up till sunrise, or made us hit pause just to take in the moment. These aren't just good games, they're the ones that, for me, stood out in a big way. So, get comfy and join me as I take you through my top 20 favorite games from the last 10 years. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider isn't just another action-adventure game, it's an intense, edge-of-your-seat experience that drags you through freezing Siberian tundras and drops you into dark, ancient crypts. You're not just playing as Lara, you're surviving with her, and damn, does she go through it all. The game throws insane challenges at you, scaling sheer cliffs with blizzards pounding your face, going up against some merciless enemies, and yeah, there's a freaking bear fight that might actually make you jump. What Rise of the Tomb Raider nails is that balance between being a badass action hero and feeling genuinely vulnerable. 1 minute, you're in a full throttle firefight, and the next, you're scavenging for scraps just to craft some makeshift arrows, hoping you have enough to make it through the next encounter. It's raw, it's real, and the survival aspect adds so much depth to Lara's character. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. There's no way Uncharted 4 wouldn't make it on this list. This game is just on a whole other level. Uncharted 4 wraps up Nathan Drake's story with that perfect blend of heart-pounding action, jaw-dropping visuals, and a genuinely heartfelt storyline. It's like watching an action movie unfold, but here you're in control, swinging from cliffs, scrambling through gunfire, and leaping from collapsing ruins, all while uncovering hidden treasures. It's epic, cinematic, and downright addictive in a way that almost ruins other games because nothing else can match this level of intensity. What makes Uncharted 4 unforgettable isn't just its blockbuster moments though. Sure, you're exploring ancient cities, getting in crazy car chases, and fist fighting on top of speeding vehicles, but it's the quieter moments that stick with you, the scenes with Nate and Elena, or those flashbacks to Nate's childhood that fill in the backstory. The way the story tackles Nate's struggle between family loyalty and his obsession with treasure hunting makes it feel way more grounded. He's not just a hero, he's got flaws, baggage, and this real tension between the thrill of the adventure and the pull of a normal life.
Get out of the way!
And let's talk about the visuals. Naughty Dog went all out. Every location is just stunning, from lush, dense jungles to dusty old catacombs to that one insane island fortress at the end. Each environment feels lived in, layered with details that make the world feel real, and the mechanics. They nailed that balance between exploration and combat. You're solving these ancient puzzles, scaling sheer rock faces, and sneaking through enemy camps, and each encounter feels fresh and unpredictable. The game's whole vibe is one of nostalgia and a bittersweet farewell to a character who's been on the ride of a lifetime. This isn't just a game, it's an experience that gets under your skin and makes you wish every adventure game could capture this kind of magic. Uncharted 4 isn't just a great game, it's the kind of game that sticks with you, setting a standard that few can reach. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is in a league of its own. This isn't just a game, it's a living, breathing world that pulls you right into America's dying Wild West. From the first time you ride into Valentine to the sun setting over the open plains, you feel every inch of this world. Rockstar went all out here, crafting a world that reacts to you, remembers you, and punishes you if you cross the wrong line. It's gritty, unforgiving, and downright stunning. But beyond all that technical brilliance, Red Dead 2 hits you in the gut with its story. Arthur Morgan isn't your typical gunslinger, he's complex, torn between loyalty to Dutch and his own conscience. And as the story unfolds, you get this deep, heartbreaking look at a man coming to terms with his choices, his fading way of life, and his place in a world that's moving on without him. The writing and character depth are just insane here. You're not just playing as Arthur, you're understanding him, feeling every tough choice, every sacrifice, and it's impossible not to get invested.
I guess I'm afraid.
And then there's the sheer detail in everything. The way the world feels real, like if you just stop, the NPCs don't freeze up or wait for you. They go about their lives. The wildlife, the changing weather, even the way people remember you based on your reputation, it all adds up to this sense of immersion that few games can touch. Every corner of this world feels alive, whether you're out in the swamps tracking down legendary animals or dodging bounty hunters after a bank job gone wrong. Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't just tell a story, it immerses you in an era and makes you care about every inch of it. It's a game that makes you slow down, pay attention, and just soak in the experience. There's a reason people still talk about it. This is a masterpiece that redefined open world storytelling and set a new bar for what video games could be.
It is us or him.
Hitman World of Assassination. Alright, Hitman World of Assassination, this trilogy has to be one of my all-time favorites, and honestly, it's hard not to appreciate the sheer genius behind these games. Each level isn't just a map, it's a sandbox where you're given 1,000 ways to pull off the perfect hit, and every time it feels different. Whether you're in a high-rise in Dubai, a vineyard in Argentina, or a bustling marketplace in Marrakesh, each location is crafted with so much detail, it's like stepping into a new world every single time. And it's not just about sneaking around and taking people out, there's a twisted sense of humor here that makes it ridiculously fun. The disguises, the weird over-the-top ways to take out targets, the little conversations you overhear, it all adds to this experience where you feel like you're not just playing as Agent 47, you're living in his world. And I'm telling you, it's endlessly replayable. You can spend hours in just one level experimenting, finding hidden secrets, new disguises, or creating the craziest chain reactions to get to your target. What makes the trilogy truly shine is the freedom it gives you. You can go in guns blazing, but where's the fun in that? The real magic is when you're blending into the crowd, setting traps, and just watching your plan fall into place. The AI reacts in such a lifelike way that it makes every choice you make feel personal. And each time you finish a level, you feel that rush of satisfaction knowing you pulled it off exactly how you wanted. There's this almost addictive quality to mastering a level. It's the kind of game you keep coming back to just to see if you can outdo yourself, find a new approach, or spot some hidden path you missed the last time. And for a game to keep pulling you back like that, that's why Hitman stands out as one of my absolute favorite series in the past decade. This trilogy isn't just about playing an assassin, it's about becoming one, and honestly, nothing else quite scratches that itch the same way. Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human isn't just a game, it's an emotional experience that digs deep into the what if of AI, human rights, and the meaning of freedom. This game gets you right in the feels, man. From the moment you start playing, you're thrust into a future Detroit where androids are everywhere but they're treated like disposable tools. And the game doesn't shy away from the hard questions: what does it mean to be alive? Can AI feel? And when is it okay to push back? The best part is Detroit lets you decide. You're not just following a story, you're shaping it with every choice. You play as 3 different androids, each with their own journey, and they each bring a unique perspective. The way Detroit pulls you in with its visuals and soundtrack is just insane. The detail is mind-blowing, from the rainy, neon-lit streets of Detroit to the small, intimate spaces where characters reveal their struggles. It's so immersive that you actually feel like you're a part of this futuristic world, and the branching storylines, they're no joke. You can go back, replay scenes, make different choices, and see entirely new outcomes. It's rare to find a game where your choices genuinely feel like they matter, but Detroit nails it. The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us is just pure noir magic. It's gritty, atmospheric, and unlike anything else. You step into the shoes of Bigby Wolf, the big bad wolf who's now the sheriff of Fabletown, a secret community where fairy tale characters live hidden from the human world. But this isn't some fairy tale Disney vibe. This world is dark, violent, and dripping with tension. It's filled with characters like Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, and others we all know, but here they're complicated, damaged, and honestly kind of messed up. What makes the Wolf Wolf Among Us stand out is its storytelling. Its classic Telltale style, every decision you make impacts the story, and it's loaded with tough choices that make you question your own morals. As Bigby, you're investigating a brutal murder that shakes up the whole community, and the game doesn't hold back on putting you in situations where you're constantly weighing loyalty, justice, and the fine line between right and wrong. And honestly, you feel like Bigby, torn between his savage past and the need to be something better for the people of Fabletown.
There is something you can do about it.
The art style is this moody, neon-soaked comic book look that captures that gritty underbelly feel of a city hiding secrets. Every setting, from seedy bars to dingy apartments, has this rough, lived-in quality that makes the whole place feel real. And the characters, they're unforgettable. Telltale made sure every interaction left a mark, and the dialogue is sharp, loaded with tension and occasional dark humor that fits the vibe perfectly. It's hard to describe The Wolf Among Us without spoiling the experience, but let's just say it's a game that hooks you from the start. The mystery is so well done, with plot twists and turns that keep you guessing until the end. This is the kind of game that pulls you in and doesn't let go, making you wish more games could capture that same intensity. It's a perfect blend of story, style, and choices that stick with you, and for me it's easily one of the most captivating games of the past decade.
What is this? Bigby.
What you did to the door! You can't just act like this whenever
Stand
you-
back. You don't want to see this.
Until Dawn. Until Dawn is like stepping into a classic horror movie, but instead of just watching, you're calling the shots. This game gets everything right about survival horror jump scares, eerie settings, and a story that has you second guessing every choice you make. You're up on this remote, snowy mountain with a group of friends, isolated from the world, and things start going south fast. From creepy noises to mysterious shadows lurking around, the atmosphere keeps you on edge the entire time. What makes Until Dawn one of my all-time favorites is how it toys with your expectations. You're constantly switching between characters, making decisions that can either save or doom them, and there's this butterfly effect system that changes everything based on the smallest choices. It's stressful in the best way possible. You think you're making the right call, only to find out later that it led someone straight into danger. And once you realize that every single character can live or die based on what you do, it's game on. The characters may seem like your typical horror movie tropes at first: the jock, the cheerleader, the quiet one, but as the story unfolds, they start to feel real. You get glimpses into their backstories, their fears, and their relationships with each other, making you care just enough to feel that panic when something's hunting them down. And the game doesn't hold back on gore or tension. Some of those death scenes, brutal. It's a game that isn't afraid to go there, and that makes every choice feel intense. And the setting, man, it's perfect. The snowy mountain lodge, the abandoned mines, the creepy forests, every location is designed to keep you on edge. It's visually stunning, and the graphics hold up even now. Until Dawn does horror right, tapping into that slasher vibe, but giving you the control to shape the story. It's a game you play with friends, with the lights off, and see who can make it out alive. It's that good. For me, it's one of the best horror games of the last decade, hands down. Mafia Definitive Edition.
Detective Norman.
Mafia Definitive Edition is pure mobster nostalgia done right. It's a remake that doesn't just polish up the graphics but breathes new life into an absolute classic. You're playing as Tommy Angelo, a cabbie turned mobster in 1930s Lost Heaven, and it nails that old school gangster vibe from the vintage cars to the smoky jazz bars. Every corner of this city feels authentic, like you're really living in a Prohibition era crime drama. The story is the real star here. It's straightforward, but full of those classic mob moments: loyalty, betrayal, and the struggle of a guy trying to hold on to some scrap of morality while getting deeper into the mob life. Tommy isn't your typical cold-blooded protagonist, he's got a conscience, and that makes his story hit harder. The voice acting and character work keep it grounded, making you feel like you're watching a classic mob film.
Every bone in their bodies.
The gameplay has that old school simplicity too. It's not about flashy mechanics, it's about solid gritty action that makes every shootout feel tense. Mafia Definitive Edition doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, it just tells a damn good story in a world that feels rich and real. For anyone who loves a classic gangster tale, this game is a must play. It's short, satisfying, and doesn't waste a second.
Use my trust.
Don Salieri, you won't ever need to worry about me.
A Plague Tale Requiem. A Plague Tale Requiem is one of those rare sequels that not only matches the original but takes everything to a whole new level. Following Amisha and Hugo again, you're thrown into an even darker, more intense journey through medieval France, dealing with the horrors of both the plague and a world that feels like it's falling apart. The stakes are higher, the danger is constant, and this time the characters feel even more fleshed out, which makes the whole experience hit hard. The relationship between Amisha and Hugo is the heart of the game, and the writing pulls you in. You feel Amisha's desperation to protect her brother, and Hugo's struggle with his powers is genuinely heartbreaking. This isn't just some survival game, it's a story about family, sacrifice, and finding hope in a brutal world that seems to have none. And let's talk about those visuals stunning. The landscapes are hauntingly beautiful, from sweeping fields to crumbling towns, all wrapped in this unsettling atmosphere that makes you want to look but also look away. Gameplay-wise, Requiem builds on what made the first game great. You're sneaking, solving puzzles, and dealing with those horrifying rat swarms that are somehow even more intense this time around. Every encounter feels like a test of patience, skill, and nerve. It's a haunting, immersive experience that sticks with you, and for anyone who loves a powerful story with memorable characters, A Plague Tale Requiem is unmissable. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is hands down one of the biggest surprises of the decade. You jump in expecting a typical superhero game, but what you get is this character-driven, story-rich space adventure that actually nails the spirit of the Guardians. The dialogue is sharp, the humor hits, and each member of the team feels fleshed out and complex. It's not just about blasting through waves of enemies, it's about the messy, chaotic family that is the Guardians, and the game lets you be right in the middle of it. You play as Star-Lord, but you're managing the entire team in combat, which gives it this strategic layer that keeps things interesting. It's not just button mashing, there's teamwork, timing, and coordinating each Guardian's unique abilities to get the upper hand, and the banter? Constant, but in the best way. They'll argue, crack jokes, and even call each other out mid-fight, making the whole experience feel authentic and hilarious. And the story here, surprisingly heartfelt. It dives into themes of family redemption and finding your place, making it way more than just a superhero romp. It's full of unexpected twists, emotional moments, and those little character interactions that make you genuinely care about this ragtag group. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy goes way beyond the typical action game. It's got heart, humor, and a style that feels totally its own. For me, it's a gem in the superhero genre, capturing everything that makes the Guardians awesome while carving its own path. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order hits that perfect sweet spot for Star Wars fans. It's got the adventure, the lore, and the thrill of wielding a lightsaber while exploring worlds that feel straight out of the movies. You play as Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan on the run after Order 66, and from the first moment, the game captures that mix of danger and wonder that defines the Star Wars universe. It's not just about hacking away at enemies, it's about survival, discovery, and reconnecting with the Force in a galaxy that's trying to crush you. What really makes this game memorable is how it combines elements from Dark Souls, Uncharted, and classic Star Wars in a way that just works. The combat, it's challenging, requiring timing and skill, but landing each hit with your lightsaber feels ridiculously satisfying. And then there's the exploration climbing, swinging, and unlocking new abilities that let you reach hidden areas and secrets. It's all about the journey, and every new power you gain feels earned.
He's searching for something.
The story dives into Cal's struggle with trauma and rediscovering his identity as a Jedi, which brings a depth you don't always get in action games, and BD-1, his little droid companion, easily one of the most charming parts of the game. The worlds are stunning, from lush forests to ancient temples, each filled with secrets that make exploration a blast. Jedi Fallen Order isn't just a Star Wars game, it's a journey that lets you live out that fantasy of being a Jedi in a way that's both challenging and rewarding. For me, it's a standout in the franchise, capturing the soul of Star Wars while delivering a genuinely great gaming experience.
The choice to keep fighting. That makes us who we are.
Yakuza Kiwami 2. Yakuza Kiwami 2 is pure, unfiltered Yakuza insanity. This game takes everything fans love about the series The Wild Brawls, the over-the-top story, and the weird but endearing side activities and cranks it up to 11. You step back into the shoes of Kiryu, the dragon of Dojima navigating the criminal underworld of Tokyo and Osaka, and it's a ride that's equal parts intense and completely ridiculous. What makes Kiwami 2 stand out is how it balances heavy emotional storytelling with some of the most absurd, off-the-wall side content you'll ever see in a game. One moment you're knee-deep in a brutal Yakuza feud, and the next you're running a cabaret club or brawling in a suit at a batting cage, and somehow it all feels right. The main story is a brutal tale of loyalty, betrayal, and revenge, but the game never loses its humor or heart, keeping you invested in both the serious and absurd sides of Kiryu's life. The combat in Kiwami 2 is smoother than ever thanks to the Dragon Engine. Smashing enemies with chairs, bikes, or whatever else you can get your hands on is brutal and satisfying. And the city, it's alive, packed with detail, neon lights, and hidden gems around every corner. It's one of those games where you get lost in the world, finding one crazy side quest after another. For me, Yakuza Kiwami 2 is the kind of game that spoils you. It's a perfect mix of action, drama, and sheer fun that few games can match. It's the full Yakuza experience with a level of polish and charm that makes it a must-play, especially if you love character-driven stories with a bit of chaos on the side. Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus takes you out of the tunnels of Moscow and throws you into the open wilderness of post-apocalyptic Russia, and man, does it make an impact. You're playing as Artyom, once again fighting for survival, but this time you're on a journey across an irradiated wasteland, searching for a place where humanity might still have a chance. It's not just about survival anymore, it's about hope, about finding a new life outside those claustrophobic tunnels, and it gives the whole game a sense of scale and purpose that's fresh and powerful. What I love about Metro Exodus is how it keeps that intense survival horror feel even in the open world. You're still scrounging for supplies, constantly checking your gas mask, and every bullet feels precious. The game doesn't just hand you resources, you've got to earn them, and that keeps the tension high, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere with mutated beasts closing in. It's not just about shooting your way through, it's about thinking, conserving, and making every shot count. The world itself is beautifully bleak, from the icy wastelands to swampy marshes and sun-baked deserts. Each area you explore is distinct and dangerous in its own way, and the weather effects, day-night cycle, and environmental storytelling make it feel like a real hostile world. And then there's the train, the Aurora. It's not just a vehicle, it's home, a safe haven where your crew becomes family. You get to know each character, their struggles, their stories, and that makes every stop, every challenge feel personal. Metro Exodus isn't just a shooter, it's an experience that makes you feel the harshness of survival while holding on to that tiny spark of hope. It's immersive, intense, and beautifully crafted, a journey that stays with you long after you've left the wasteland. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus is just pure, unfiltered rebellion. This game grabs you by the throat from the start and doesn't let go, throwing you into a twisted, alternate 1960s America under Nazi rule. You're playing as BJ Blazkowicz, the ultimate one-man army, and it's brutal, unapologetic, and absolutely relentless. There's no holding back here. Every mission, every cutscene is packed with intensity and a kind of raw fury that makes it clear this is a fight worth fighting. What really makes The New Colossus stand out is how it balances over-the-top action with a surprisingly deep story. Sure, you're blasting through waves of Nazis with a ridiculous arsenal, dual-wielding weapons, and tearing down giant mechs. But the game also dives into BJ's psyche, his trauma, and his struggle to keep going despite the odds. It doesn't shy away from the emotional weight of his journey, and that makes each moment feel real, even in a world as insane as this one. With its fast-paced, brutal gameplay and powerful storytelling, Wolfenstein 2 is one of those games that gets under your skin. It's intense, impactful, and just damn satisfying. For anyone who loves a game that mixes explosive action with real narrative depth, The New Colossus is as good as it gets. God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok takes everything that made its predecessor legendary and cranks it up in the best way. You're back with Kratos and Atreus, exploring the realms of Norse mythology, but this time the stakes are even higher. Ragnarok is coming, and every choice feels like it's building toward that inevitable world-ending showdown. What really gets me about this game is how it balances those epic, larger-than-life moments with the deeply personal story between a father and son. You feel every ounce of Kratos' struggle to guide Atreus without repeating the mistakes of his past. The combat is brutal, satisfying, and has layers upon layers of depth. Every encounter demands skill and precision, and the game rewards you for experimenting with combos, switching between weapons, and learning the enemy's patterns. And then there are the bosses. Each one feels massive, and each fight feels like it has real weight, pushing Kratos and Atreus to their limits in every sense. The story digs even deeper into the Norse gods, introducing unforgettable characters like Thor and Odin in ways you don't expect. The writing makes these gods complex and flawed, just as you'd hope in a world this mythically charged. And visually, this game is a masterpiece. Every realm is packed with stunning detail, from the frozen landscapes of Midgard to the fiery depths of Muspelheim. Each location feels alive, and it pulls you right into this mythological epic. Hifi Rush. Hifi Rush is one of those games that just hits you with pure fun and energy from the second you start playing. It's got this incredible rhythm-based combat system where every punch, dodge, and special move syncs up to the beat of the soundtrack, creating this insane, stylish flow that's as satisfying as it is unique. You play as Chai, a wannabe rock star who accidentally becomes a living beat machine, fighting his way through a futuristic corporate-controlled city with a guitar in hand and rhythm in his soul. The art style is bright, colorful, and straight out of a comic book with animations that make every move pop. It's like stepping into a living music video where every action feels in sync with the music. The best part? It's not just about mashing buttons. You're rewarded for keeping to the beat, making every encounter feel like this perfect blend of combat and rhythm gameplay. It's challenging, but once you hit the flow, it's ridiculously satisfying. But it's not all about combat. Hifi Rush packs in humor, quirky characters, and a lighthearted story that keeps you smiling the whole way through. The dialogue is snappy, the jokes land, and the whole vibe is just this refreshing mix of punk rock energy and animated fun. For anyone looking for something different, something that's just pure, unfiltered joy, Hifi Rush is a blast that stands out as one of the most fun, creative games in recent memory. Life is strange.
Chloe, slow down. Wait for me.
Life is Strange is one of those rare games that pulls you in and makes you feel every emotional beat. You play as Max Caulfield, a high school girl who discovers she has the ability to rewind time, but it's not some superhero story. It's this intimate, deeply personal journey about friendship, growing up, and dealing with choices that feel all too real. The setting, a small coastal town with its own secrets and mysteries, makes it feel grounded, like you're right there with Max facing the highs and lows of teenage life. The real magic of Life is Strange lies in its characters and choices. The friendship between Max and Chloe is the heart of the story, and it's raw, complicated, and just beautifully done. The game puts you in tough situations where every decision feels like it has a genuine impact, and it doesn't shy away from tackling heavy themes like loss, identity, and mental health. Every choice you make changes the story, and you're constantly weighing the cost of each decision, knowing that sometimes there's no right answer.
20 years, which is so... No, I saw it!
And that rewind mechanic, it's more than just a gameplay gimmick. It's a way for Max to explore her own regrets, to wonder about what if in a way that's painfully relatable. The art style, the music, the pacing, it all comes together to create this moody, atmospheric experience that just sticks with you. Life is Strange isn't just a game, it's an emotional journey that feels like it was made to connect with people. It's a reminder of how powerful video game storytelling can be, capturing the messiness of life and the weight of every little decision. For me, it's one of the most impactful games of the last decade, and it's a must-play for anyone who loves stories that hit you right in the heart.
These visions, this power. I keep expecting to wake up one more time.
A Way Out. A Way Out is something special, man. It's a co-op experience unlike anything else out there, and it's not just because you're playing through this intense prison break. The game is built entirely around two players working together, and that's what makes it so memorable. You play as Leo and Vincent, two guys who couldn't be more different but have to team up to survive and escape, and right from the start, you feel that push and pull between the characters. It's like you're right there with them, feeling the tension, the grudges, and eventually the friendship. The beauty of A Way Out is that it's not just another action game, it's a story about trust, sacrifice, and honestly, some of the most unique co-op moments I've ever seen in a game. You and your partner are constantly coordinating, whether it's one person distracting guards while the other sneaks around, or working together on puzzles that require actual teamwork. And the game isn't afraid to slow down, giving you moments to just sit and talk or play a round of Connect 4. It's those little interactions that make you care about Leo and Vincent as more than just characters, they feel real.
Fucking missing, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
And let's be real, the story takes some unexpected turns, and the ending, it's one of those moments that just sticks with you. The game gets you invested in these two guys, their friendship, and their goals, so when everything hits the fan, it hits hard. It's a reminder that sometimes the journey matters just as much as the destination. A Way Out isn't just a game, it's an experience you share. It's emotional, tense, and filled with moments that genuinely surprise you. For anyone looking for something fresh in co-op storytelling, this game is an absolute must-play. Quantum Break. Quantum Break is one of those games that takes big swings and really commits to being different. It's a blend of action-packed gameplay and live-action storytelling that actually works, pulling you into this mind-bending time travel story that keeps you guessing. You play as Jack Joyce, a guy who accidentally gains the power to manipulate time after a science experiment goes wrong, and from there, it's this wild ride of fractured timelines, intense shootouts, and massive conspiracies. The time manipulation powers are what really make this game shine. Freezing enemies in place, dodging bullets in a blink, or creating time shields, it's ridiculously satisfying, and the combat feels fast and dynamic in a way that's just plain fun. The game lets you get creative with each encounter, and once you start chaining together your powers, it's hard not to feel like a total badass. But Quantum Break isn't just about the gameplay, it's also a full-on cinematic experience. In between each act, you get live-action episodes that dive deeper into the story, exploring the motivations of the villains and giving you more context for the chaos. It's ambitious, and sure, it's a bit of a gamble, but it's cool to see a game trying something this bold. The story itself is layered, with themes about fate, power, and how far people are willing to go to rewrite their own future. It's got twists, turns, and just enough sci-fi craziness to keep you hooked. Quantum Break may not have been for everyone, but for me, it was a standout experiment, a game that's unafraid to mix storytelling and gameplay in a way that feels unique and memorable. The Last of Us Part 1. The Last of Us Part 1 is one of those games that sticks with you long after you finished it. It's not just a story about survival in a post-apocalyptic world, it's about the bond between Joel and Ellie, two characters who feel so real. It's almost like you're watching a movie instead of playing a game. The world has fallen apart, but in the middle of all that darkness, there's this powerful, raw story about trust, redemption, and finding something worth fighting for. What makes The Last of Us unforgettable is how it brings out the humanity in a world that's anything but humane. The game pulls no punches, it's brutal, heartbreaking, and sometimes hard to watch, but that's what makes every small moment of hope feel so precious. You're not just battling infected, you're up against other survivors, each with their own desperation, and every encounter feels tense and life or death. The gameplay backs this up perfectly, keeping you on edge with limited resources and making every bullet, every shiv, feel valuable. Stealth, strategy, and sheer willpower become your best friends here, and the game nails that feeling of vulnerability. You're not a superhero, you're just trying to survive, and that's what makes it so immersive. And the storytelling? It's nothing short of incredible. From the haunting, desolate landscapes to the intense, emotional cutscenes, every piece of The Last of Us pulls you deeper into its world. Joel and Ellie's journey isn't just about escaping danger, it's about facing their own demons, and you feel every bit of that struggle. This game redefined what storytelling could be in video games, making it one of the most impactful experiences of the last decade. It's not just a game, it's an emotional journey that's as unforgettable as it is harrowing.
I got this.
Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is one of those games that just nails it. Fluid movement, tight combat, and a campaign that's way better than anyone expected. You play as Jack Cooper, a soldier who's thrown into a partnership with BT, an advanced Titan with a personality that honestly makes him one of the most memorable parts of the game. From the start, you're dropped into intense firefights, but it's the connection between Jack and BT that gives the game heart and makes it feel more than just a shooter. What makes Titanfall 2 so standout is its level design. There's one mission in particular, Effect and Cause, where you're literally jumping back and forth through time. It's genius, and it's a level that's gone down as one of the best in any shooter. The game constantly mixes things up, giving you wall-running parkour sections, insane mech battles, and puzzles that keep you on your toes. The pacing is perfect, and it never feels repetitive. And the multiplayer, still some of the best out there. It's fast, it's dynamic, and the pilot VS. Titan gameplay makes every match feel like a new experience. It's sad that Titanfall 2 never got the attention it deserved, because honestly this game has everything you want from a shooter: solid mechanics, innovative design, and a campaign that sticks with you. For anyone who loves FPS games, Titanfall 2 is a must-play. It's one of those rare games that feels like it was made with passion, pushing boundaries and delivering an experience that's as fun as it is memorable. And that's my top 20. I mean, can you believe how far games have come? Whether they took us on wild journeys, made us feel every emotion under the sun, or just let us escape for a bit, these are the games that really left a mark on me. I'd love to know which games hit you the hardest over the last decade. Drop your favorites in the comments.